Good morning and welcome to America Right Now. I'm T.W. Shannon. President Trump showcasing his strengths as the ultimate deal maker. The Trump administration announced a new trade deal with the United Kingdom, further opening up each side's markets to many products. We've got a lot to discuss today. Joining me now is the president of Strellmark LLC, Hillary Fordwich. Good morning, Hillary.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Many were, predicting that the economy would be crumbling at this point, but we've actually seen it, thriving in many regards. Something else that happened under Trump's watch that many were saying would be a long ways off. We had our first trade deal since the tariffs were enacted with new U.S.-UK trade deal. Now, President Trump was celebrating this great deal for America on Thursday.
With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade. The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for American beef, ethanol, and virtually all of the products produced by our great farmers. And we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products that weren't allowed.
I mean, Hillary, this is a big deal. Many predicted this wouldn't happen this quickly. Trump has been saying that countries are calling and lining up. This is the first shoe to drop. So the tariffs are going to remain at 10% through this new deal. What are your thoughts on this agreement with the UK?
Well, a few things that I think are very important. Number one, when he mentions beef, of course, obviously being English born, I'm an American, but being English born, I would say, there was this concern for British farmers. Well, what's really fair about this for Americans is 5 billion in additional exports. A lot of that is the beef, but it means that the UK is stopping their beef imports from other countries. So it's not going to hurt British farmers. So this is really very good for both sides. Also, 100,000 UK cars coming into the US. But importantly, Rolls-Royce parts will now be bought, used in American planes. And then the UK agreed to buy billions worth of Boeing jets. So I think it's really good for Boeing, really good for Rolls-Royce. What could be better, TW, than a deal that is brilliant for both sides? And I think this is really good in terms of UK-US relations. And of course, the UK has been our most steadfast ally in the entire world. So I think it's very mutually beneficial.
I think you're right. President Trump said it all along. He was for fair trade. He wanted to be a fair deal for both sides, and this seems to be that for sure. But let's talk about, and you also mentioned, the significance of our relationship with the Brits. What's the real significance, though, of this deal with the United Kingdom being the first one before other nations? How do you think this will impact other future deals that the Trump team's working on currently?
Well, I think one of the things that President Trump actually said was he said that the Brits have been very respectful to us. I think it's just that they're treating the US decently. I think some of the reactions, for example, like Ursula von der Leyen from the EU, she turned around and immediately the woman who's never been concerned ever about taxes said that, oh, tariffs are a tax on the EU. And they immediately raised their tariffs on the US. So that just was very disrespectful to the US, disrespectful in any deal with anybody. Also, something that was rather significant, I thought, and a sort of a message to the rest of the world was when President Trump, he did an imitation of Sean Connery, and he talked about the fact that he couldn't get any permits for his golf courses in Scotland, and that Sean Connery had said, give the bloody bloke a permit. So I think what was lovely was the way that he had a personal relationship with Sean Connery. So I think the messages here are, number one, be respectful to the US, and number two, build relationships with Americans. What could be better for world peace that the left is always banging on about? Let's have world peace through trade that is mutually beneficial. And that is what President Trump wants. And last but not least, he's one of the few politicians that is always talking about lives, saving lives. And I think good trade deals stand for good peace across the world, and it's a very good deal across the world if we can have peace and great trade deals.
Hillary, I think you're exactly right. The president has been consistent on this, and the fact that it saves lives, I think, is certainly at the forefront of his administration. So, Hillary Fordwich, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, TW.